All right, here we go, man. So let me plug the joint. Men are sabotaging their own dating lives. This is why when guys complain, I really don't pay it no mind as far as me taking men seriously, because I always look at the things they're complaining about, and I always say to myself, you have power to control that. Okay, you cannot control the woman, right? But understand, when we do these videos, these live streams, there's one word that we utilize a lot, and that word is influence, right? To have influence means you have power within that particular situation, right? So you can have influence when it comes to women, right? You can't control what women do. You cannot control a woman's behaviors. You cannot control her choices, right? But you can influence her behavior to such a degree that the choices she makes benefits you. And to one degree or another, it also benefits her. Because what women have to understand, and this is assuming that they're dealing with a stand-up man, a solid, thorough man, is that any choice they make that benefits you, they're going to benefit directly or indirectly because they're following your lead. So it behooves them to move in a certain way anyway. Men are sabotaging their own dating lives. I do got a short video clip I'm going to share with you guys in just a moment. Now, there's a multitude of ways that men go about sabotaging their own dating lives. Now, a lot of guys will sabotage their dating lives because they lead with their wallet, right? They don't understand that putting their status, their money, their resources, all those different things, if they put those things in front of them, they're automatically going to be perceived a certain way by women. And that way will not be to their favor, right? But that's not what we're talking about today, right? So outside of that way and a multitude of other ways that men sabotage their dating lives, I'm talking about one particular way, right? And that is your behaviors, how you act, right? What you choose to introduce to women. Okay, and I tell you guys all the time, I warn you guys about inadvertent behavior. An inadvertent action is one that you do without realizing what you're doing. Now, a lot of guys who sabotage their dating lives, they just flat out don't know what they're doing, right? And then you have other guys who sabotage their dating lives. They don't know what they're doing either, but they're consciously and purposefully going out of their way to mislead women, to deceive women, right? Or like love bombing. That's an example. That love bombing shit where guys pretend like they care more than what they do. They pretend like they like the woman and they really don't like her like that. And they're only doing that so they can get access to her sexually, right? So those guys, they think they know what they're doing because their aim is to get pussy by any means necessary. So they think they know what they're doing. They think they know what they are doing by manipulating, deceiving women because, again, to them, it's working because they're getting sex. But what they don't realize is you're getting the lowest level of investment that a woman can bring to you. Now, if all you want is sex and your life is built on sex, well, that just shows you how minuscule your thinking is, not understanding that there's way more value to a woman than just her bottom half. So when you seek to deceive and manipulate women, you could literally be doing that to a woman who would really be a good girlfriend, a good asset to you. She can really bring something worthwhile to your situation, but because you misleading this chick and you doing, the ill shit, lying to get the pussy and playing with her and all that other shit, eventually that's going to come to fruition and it's going to blow up in your face. And this clip is going to allude to that a little bit. It's not going to go that far into it, but it's going to allude to it on an emotional level, right? Men are sabotaging their own dating lives. Again, another way that guys sabotage their dating lives is inadvertent behavior. There are things that you are doing in these interactions you're having with these women where otherwise you would have yourself a solid situation. Even if it's just a casual fuck buddy situation, You could have that with a woman that you are very attractive to, where she's making it easy for you, things is happening exactly as you would like them to happen, right? You could have that if only you knew what the fuck you were doing. Men are sabotaging their own dating lives. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to this clip. We're gonna get back off into it. Let me snatch this bad boy up. Let's get it.
I love sex. I love it. I'm great at it. Um, I just absolutely enjoy it. But what I don't like is the manipulation that can come along with it, the fake and false lust that feels like love. Um, I don't like the hypnosis that men put on women when it comes to sex. I'm not having three people running through me, hypnotizing me, having me call them daddy, having me checking in with them, having me thinking about them all day, all night, missing them, craving them. And it ain't even love. We ain't even like that. Why do that? I don't even know how you really feel about me. I know the sex is good, but I don't really know the standard. And I'm never asking you nothing about what we're doing. If you don't make it known, it's enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and I sit down on this thing, and nobody can get it.
Now, just as an aside, visually, she definitely my type. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I definitely can fuck with that. Now, moving right along though, men are sabotaging their own dating lives. So she said the hypnosis that men put on women. So essentially what she is really saying is when she's encountered men that one, she was sexually attracted to, two, actually knew what they were doing in bed. They knew how to satisfy her and please her, right? Right? But three, she's also talking about men that she actually caught feelings for. See, here's the thing. This is what guys got to understand. When women are a combination of physically and sexually attracted to you, right? They're a combination. They like the overall presentation. They like what they see visually. And when you interact with them, they like your behavior. They like your personality. They're drawn to you. They're sexually attracted to you. In addition to that, when you guys actually do have sex, assuming that you do, you fucking the shit out of her. She loves it. She craves you. She can't resist you. She lusts you. Like she was saying, she gotta have you. She's thinking about you all the time. She's calling you. She wants to see you. She wants to be around you. She wants you to be in her. All of this type of shit, right? In addition to all of that, she's really, really likes you. So what happens is what she's essentially talking about is the inconsistency. It's the inconsistency in your behaviors. Because the very thing that can make women drawn to you, right? The very thing that can make women drawn to you, right? When you flip that coin and you present the other side of the coin, they can literally lose a desire to want to deal with you. A woman can go from hot to cold real quick. See, it's harder to get a woman to go from cold to hot. It's very hard to get a woman to go from cold to hot. But it's very easy to get a woman to go from hot to cold. All you got to do is say the wrong thing and or do the wrong thing. Or say the series of wrong things or do the series of wrong things, and the chick is like, I'm good on him. Right? Men are sabotaging their own dating lives. Guys, okay, and I've said this before. You don't have to introduce non-sexual activities, non-sexual energy, non-sexual intimacy to have a healthy, mutually beneficial, casual sex relationship. Women are down for that. Okay, I've said this numerous times. Trust and believe there is no shortage of women meandering this earth who are down for casual sex encounters that could potentially lead to a full-blown fuck buddy relationship where you guys do not need to introduce the spending the night together, taking showers, sharing meals. And I'm not saying, look, there's nothing wrong with any one of those things, right? Because in order for you to even explore the potential of a relationship, there's going to be things that you have introduced, that you're currently introducing, and that you will introduce later, right? That lends itself to the fact that you are spending non-sexual time with this woman. And that shit is fine, assuming that the woman is worthy of that, assuming that you're ready to be consistent. And that's the key thing. When you start introducing these things that got these women falling in love and shit, that got these women sweating you for attention, they want to be around you. When all these things that women are becoming more and more attracted to as far as what you're introducing, are you prepared to maintain a level of consistency? Okay, I've also said this about a lot of guys. A lot of guys, you don't know how to maintain the momentum of attraction. Your catch hand, your ability to attract women, you're good at that. You have no problem attracting women to you. Women gravitate to you. Women want to fuck with you. But the problem with a lot of guys is you don't know how to maintain that momentum of attraction. Again, your catch hand is dope. But your keep hand, bro, you got some work to do. And again, inadvertent behavior. We tell you guys all the time. Once you start introducing non-sexual shit in the equation, look, I'll put it to you this way. I'll put it to you another way. Okay, I'll break it down like this. If I meet a woman out and about, right, and let's say it's evident that we're both mutually sexually attracted to each other, like the very first night we meet, right? So during the course of the conversation, we both verbalize our sexual desires for each other. Like we both want to make it happen. But for whatever reason, tonight ain't that night, right? So we basically exchange contact information. I instruct her to call me the next day, you know what I'm saying, so we can, put our heads together and come up with a time and day that's mutually beneficial for all involved, right? So boom, we set that up. We have sex, great sex, right? Boom. Maybe we have sex 3 or 4 times, right? Now, if all I'm doing is having sex, I'm not doing no extra shit. I'm not talking to her on the phone unnecessarily. I'm not messaging or texting unnecessarily. And the only time we really communicate is to set up a sexual rendezvous, right? But also, when we do have sex, that's pretty much it. Like prior to having sex and shortly thereafter, there's no extra shit introduced. If I go to her house, I beat it up and dip, right? If she come over to the crib, I beat it up and she dip, right? Now, her attraction for me is mainly and strictly revolving around sex, because I'm not introducing anything else, right? I'm not introducing anything else. Now, let's say for the sake of argument, after fucking her for 3 or 4 times, I start letting her spend the night here and there. I start taking showers with her here and there. When she comes over, instead of getting to the fucking, maybe we share a meal together or watch a movie or something like that. Or we have this long, engaging, in-depth, super vulnerable, intimate discussion about our life, dreams, and aspirations and all that type of shit that women love to talk about, right? And when women like you, they love all that shit. Now, she's going to go from her attraction towards me and for me being mainly centered around, or really centered around sex and just physical attraction, lust, all of that shit, right? Her attraction for me is centered around that. Now, once I start introducing that other shit into it, now she's becoming attracted to me outside of just sex and outside of the physical or the visual. Whatever she likes about my appearance and the sex, she still is attracted to me where that's concerned. But now, because I'm introducing these other things into the equation, she's finding out things about me that she likes. So the attraction level for me is increasing because she's attracted to more than just the sex. She's attracted to other things, right? So she's finding that, damn, I really like this guy. I'm really feeling him. I really want him to date me seriously. And she's really thinking about what it could be for us to date each other and possibly be in a relationship. So now the attraction level has blossomed or ballooned into other things, right? So what happens now is if I start to become inconsistent with anything, if I become inconsistent with the frequency of the sex, if I become inconsistent with how good the sex is, if I become inconsistent with the communication that I've done thus far, if I become inconsistent with the level of sexual and non-sexual attention that I'm showing her, that's going to disrupt the synergy. That's going to disrupt the harmony in the situation. And what you're going to get is this. Let me play this clip again. Hold on, give me a second.
I love sex. I love it. I'm great at it. I just absolutely enjoy it. But what I don't like is the manipulation that can come along with it, the fake and false lust that feels like love. I don't like the hypnosis that men put on women when it comes to sex. I'm not having three people running through me, hypnotizing me, having me call them daddy, having me checking in with them, having me thinking about them all day, all night, missing them, craving them. And it ain't even love. We ain't even like that. Why do that? I don't even know how you really feel about me. I know the sex is good, but I don't really know the standard. And I'm never asking you nothing about what we're doing. If you don't make it known, it's enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and I sit down on this thing, and nobody can get it.
So she says something that I don't want it to go unnoticed, right? And she was talking about, I'm never asking about what we're doing. And she also said, we're not even like that. I don't know how you feel about me. So this is what happens, and most men are aware of this, and women are all too aware of it as well. What a lot of women will do in many cases when they are visually and sexually attracted to you and the sex is mind-blowing, and they're starting to like you beyond just the sex, right? They're starting to, have these, thoughts about what it could be like to be with you beyond just the casual sex component, right? So sometimes women will create these fantasies in their head about what y'all could be. So because they like the feeling of it, right? Because it's so emotionally and mentally stimulating, right? Because they like it. A lot of times women, they will allow themselves to kind of obsess a little too much about what could be, right? And that could be potential drama for you because they're looking to you to lead the situation. They're trying to follow you. So when a woman says, I'm not even sure what we are, I'm not even sure like if you even like me like that. Like women should never have to guess. Women should never be wondering what's going on with you, right? And the only reason why they're wondering and they're guessing and they're trying to figure it out is because you're introducing things into the equation that make them believe they could have something more than you initially presented. And they would have been okay with what you initially presented, which was just the sex. Then you put this extra shit on top, and now they feel a sense of entitlement to it, right? And I can see why some women feel the way that they feel. I can see why women get frustrated because they meet a guy, they like you, you fucking the shit out of them, they love it, they love the feeling that they're feeling, and then you introduce other shit, and they're like, damn, I was cool with this, but damn, this guy's full of surprises. I really, really like this fucking guy, right? And then you pull a rug from underneath them with your inconsistencies. And you wonder why women ain't sticking around to fuck with you. You wonder why you can't get a woman's A game. Okay, you wonder why you hear other dudes talking about how chicks is cooking for them, chicks is taking them out on a chick's dime and treating them to meals and dates and comedy specials and concerts. Hashtag her debit card works too. You wonder why women are doing all this fly shit for all of these dudes. And these dudes aren't even in relationships with these chicks half the time, right? They're dating these women, but they understand that when you're dealing with women, bro, you have an obligation and responsibility to manage that situation and to lead that situation. And regardless of what you guys may think, once you realize a woman is catching feelings for you, you're responsible for that. So if you are doing things that are contributing to her feelings flooding into the situation, you got to check yourself and make sure you're not doing anything unintentionally, inadvertently, but also you got to make sure what you introduce outside of dick into the equation, you got to make sure what you introduce, especially when a woman's emotion starts to get involved, you got to make sure you can consistently deliver that thing. Because if you can't, why introduce it? Because all you're doing is sabotaging your own dating life. Like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Tuesday Sex Talk Show, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 Eastern. Me and the homie Steve the Dean. Come through, fuck with your boy. We out. Peace.